Welcome back to our YouTube channel. We thank you once again for your viewings, your comments, and you reaching out. Last week, we talked about package handling process, and I mentioned quite a number of things on last mile delivery, logistics, and the key points to note. Today, I would further move on to handling process of special packages. Last week was a generalization on handling of packages, but today I'm going to zero in on handling of special packages. Special packages such as fragile packages and food require extra care and attention to ensure they arrive at their destination and in an intact manner. Here's a general outline of the handling process for these types of packages. Now, for fragile packages, they need proper identification. For example, they need to be labeled either with a fragile tape or with a fragile emblem and handling with clear emblem. Now, special packaging also requires the use of sturdy boxes, bubble wrapping, foam inserts, or other protective materials to prevent movement and any shock process that might occur in the process of moving these items. Now, you don't want, for example, the food getting spilled, or maybe oil is all over the place, before it gets to the client. Now, we also need careful handling. The handlers need to be trained. That's the drivers, the riders, the people that would label. They need to be trained on how to handle fragile packages in a gentle manner. They need to avoid dropping, throwing, or rough movements. Yes, I need to emphasize on rough movements. A driver, a rider, knowing he or she is, carrying a fragile contact, cannot, engage in very high speed. And a lot of care needs to be taken on the road to avoid bumps, to avoid whatever it is that can cause there to be shiftings or moving around of the package in question. Now I move on to secure storage. Food is not the only item we categorize as special package. Even things like your laptop, phones, whatever it is, gadgets, whatever it may be, they are termed, fragile packages. Now, these packages need to also be stored in a secure and safe environment. Dry, it must, the containers must be dry. There must be no issue of dampness or water affecting these items, and they need to be kept away from direct sunlight and moisture. We move on to monitoring. For effective processing, these packages also need to be monitored because they need to be delivered in the shortest possible time. They need to be delivered ASAP, as soon as possible. And you just don't want any stories, you don't want any issues concerning things like this. Now, for food packagings, here are some things to consider. Temperature control. Appropriate temperatures need to be maintained. For example, it depends on the item. If it's a frozen item, then it needs to be frozen, like frozen, stone cold frozen, till it gets to destination. And there are some kind of cool boxes that can be used for this kind of shipment. Insulated packaging too, which involves insulated boxes, coolers, thermal bags to keep the food at the right temperature. Handling. Hygiene, we can't overemphasize the word hygiene. It needs to be done in an hygienical manner, avoiding cross contamination and exposure to extreme temperature. Time sensitivity, as I mentioned earlier, these packages need to be dropped as soon as possible. These are not packages you go all over town from one end to the other. It just needs to go from pickup point right to the doorstep of the recipient. The timing needs to be prioritized so that the item is getting to recipients in a timely manner. The monitoring, close monitoring is needed to temperature sensors, monitoring systems to ensure proper storage and handling. Now, I like to also take a look at additional considerations. And what are these additional considerations is to ensure that these items, food, are covered in the shortest possible distance. For example, why move food from mainland to highland? And I'm talking of extreme locations. You need to look for the nearest logistics to you to help with, so that there is no time wasting. Taking this kind of things over extreme locations is not the best option. The food may not arrive fresh. You need to look for the nearest option to you, but taking some of these items over long distances will make them to be delivered in not so good condition. So please, you need to take a close look at this consideration. Equipment, to ensure that the right equipment is used, such as pallets or containers designed for handling special packages. Documentation, ensuring that accurate records are kept. Contingency planning. Always remember this. This can never be taken away. Ensure you establish procedures for handling any issues that may come up on the road. For example, if there is a breakdown of the bike or vehicle carrying this kind of items, there needs to be a backup plan, and you must swing into action immediately, such that there is help, and your the time gap is shortened, and another rider, another driver can continue with this, because I mean, with bikes, with vehicles, anything can happen on the road. So please always remember the contingency planning. You can't take it out of the equation. By following these guidelines, you can ensure that your special packages receive the extra care they require, resulting in reduced damage and increased customer satisfaction. Till I come your way again next week, do not forget to comment, subscribe, like, call us, whatever it may be. We are here to help you. Till I come your way again. Bye-bye.